Hey Booktubers, it's time for my first review on Books and Dave. So it was summer in the city a few weekends ago and I went into this year not planning on buying anything. And then I saw the Hotkey bookstall and I loved the fact that a book publishers had a stall there. I thought that was really, really cool and a great way of engaging young people with books. But once again, I still wasn't planning on buying anything. And then I got talking to Senna, aka Books and Quills on YouTube, and she recommended me one book. And then she recommended me another book. And then she recommended me a third book. And I ended up buying all three of them. But I bought all three of them for £15, which I think is pretty good going. On Sunday, the rain decided to try and make a mess of my books, but they are still readable, and I've read one of them. So this is the first review of those three books as well. The first one being We Were Liars by Lockhart. Because there's a lot of spoilers in this book, well really not lots, but one big spoiler, I'm going to break this into two parts. One is no spoilers, and then I'll have a black screen, and then I'm going to do the spoiler section, because I want to talk about a few things with the spoiler. So We Were Liars is about a girl called Cadence and her family, the Sinclair family. They're upper class, they're posh, they're financially well off, well at least so it seems, and they have their own island. And this island they go to in the summer. I think the granddad might live there. No, he lives in Boston during the year. But every summer, the family, the aunties, uncles, cousins, go there. And Cadence and her two cousins and their friend kind of hang out every summer. And summer 15, when they're 15 years old, something happens. And we don't know what happens, but it's something. And basically this book is then, for the majority of it, it's set 2 years later on summer 17. She doesn't go to the island summer 16. Instead, she goes traveling around Europe with her father. So summer 17, she goes, I really want to go back to the island because I really want to know what happened. And she wants to see her cousins again because they haven't been talking to her through the nearly 2 years. And so it's basically about her journey. And I think it's really cool. I really like this book because it looks a lot into family dynamics. It looks a lot into the way we perceive people and the way we interact with people. But that's only the first layer. You then it breaks down into so many different layers. And actually this is one of the books I want to reread. I'm not going to reread straight away, but like in about a month or two, because I want to like really look into all those different layers. It looks into the subconscious. It looks into relationships away from the family relationships. It looks into the idea of self. It looks into all these different things, some more deeper than others. Lockhart's writing I really like. This is the first book of hers that I've read. But I think it's really cool. At the start, in the first like 2-3 chapters, I was like, oh, I don't really like this. But I think that's purposely done because Cadence, the first few chapters are like summer 5 or something like that, and then her early summers. So they do feel like they're written from the point of view of someone that is a young child, and as she grows up. It's when you get into summer 15 that the writing really takes on a new level of depth and a new level of intrigue and just mature writing style. And I think that transition on reflection is actually really nice because it really brings home how powerful the rest of the book is. I read this book in 2 sittings, which for me is really impressive. I think what helped is that the chapters are really, really short. So I was like reading one chapter, I was like, oh, I can read another chapter, and after that, I can read another chapter, and it is gripping. None of the chapters are so slow. I think kind of for this book, sometimes in books that are really boring, I like miss paragraphs. This one, I don't think I missed any of the paragraphs. I was kind of really kept in. It isn't always that things are happening, but in terms of the breakdown of the people with relationships, all this kind of thing, is pretty constant. It's a very kind of fast-paced book for what it is. There will be a link in the down below to this on Goodreads, and I might find the hotkey page for it if hotkeys have a page. Yeah, go and buy it. Definitely worth a read. I'm gonna go and find more Lockhart books and read the rest of her set because I kind of really like her style. If you're not joining us for the spoilers, I'll see you soon for the next review. Until then, look after yourselves. Ta-ra. So now it's spoiler time for We Were Liars, and I'm hoping that everyone that is watching this bit has actually read the book and knows what the big spoiler is. The big spoiler is that Cadence, what happened during the summer that she can't remember is that there was a fire that her and her cousins and their friend set, and she was the only one that made it out alive from that fire. And I love that because it is so obvious. I kind of like finished, but and I didn't cry at the point where she finds out that, you know, she remembers that she set the fire and they died. I think it was another point where it starts breaking down about how that's why the family's so close now. That's why the mum and her sisters, who previously were arguing, were hugging, and she kind of breaks down into like, not only has she lost something, but it's her aunties have lost children, the cousins have lost brothers and sisters, and I love that. Like, that bit got me. I thought it was really nicely written because it's something so obvious, but it's not something necessarily you would think because you're so almost caught up in Cadence's experience that you don't take into account, oh yeah, you know, this person's lost this or that person's lost this. So as I said in the previous part, I'm really looking forward to kind of rereading it in a couple of months and like seeing the grief in all these other characters that are there, which at the start maybe you didn't initially pay much attention to. The best thing for me was like, I finished reading the book and I looked at the front cover and I looked, We Were Liars, and I'm thinking, how did I not see that one coming? And I also love how in here, I'm perceiving that to be the cousins and the friend Gat are ghosts. And they've come here to kind of try and support her and help her through the transition into realising what's happened. And I really like that. Because there's no, oh, do ghosts exist? Do they not exist? There's no apology, there's no kind of skepticism, it's just there. And it's non-judgmental, it's not saying, this is what I believe, you should believe it too, because ghosts exist. It just exists. And that relationship between her and kind of the ghosts exists. And it doesn't go into, is this something part of her mind? Is this something that's ghosts? Me personally, I feel it's more ghost just because of some of the later interactions that happen when she realises what's happened. And I really like how they're trying to pass on, but they're staying there for her, and that they're feeling the pain from that, and that in the end they're able to move on. And I think that's symbolistic, yes, we're going to use that word, of Cadence being able to move on. And I just really like that relationship, those relationships as they develop. I don't like the title, and especially because I know the kind of build up to it being published was around, say, 3 things that are lies when you kind of do a review of it or something. But for me, the book isn't about that. It's not about liars. It's not about lies. Yes, there are a few lies that come up. The story Sinclair family says, in fact, they look all financially independent, but actually they're all of the children, as in all of the granddad's children, are reliant on the granddad for the money, actually, so they're not financially independent. And I get that the Cadence and her cousins and their friend call themselves the liars, but why? I don't want it to become, or I'm worried it, for some people, will become this idea of like the cousins lying to Cadence around that they're alive. But for me, they weren't. Like, I think Gat says to her near the end when she realised that they were trying to tell her, and I went, yeah, they were. Just a few of the things, like I said, I need to reread it, but a few of the things pop out. I don't feel they were lying to her. I don't feel that she, to an extent, she was lying to herself, but not enough to base this idea of the book on the idea of lies. I don't really see that for me personally. I think there's a lot of honesty in this book, a lot of self-preservation rather than lies. So I found that a little bit tricky, because I think what I got out of the book and the kind of like the themes and the roles I read in the book kind of differed maybe from what was intended or what a lot of other people have perceived. So I'd like to know what other people kind of thought about that idea of lies and liars, if you feel it was core to the book and the story, or if you just think it was, you know, a bit on the side. Yeah. So 4 out of 5 stars I'll give this, because I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go and look for more E. Lockhart books, and yeah. So that's my review. That's my first review on this new channel. Enjoy it. This is going up there. We're going to move that one out. There we go. It's going to be my favourite bookshelf, I think. I like that. So yeah, until next time guys, look after yourselves. Ta-ra.